Hello, dearest. This is Stella from Each Page. And after all this time, here's the first ever podcast. I decided to start out, after a lot of thinking, with The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. You might not know the title, or you may recognize it as the prequel to the Hunger Games trilogy. Here's a fun fact before we get this party started. This was the first book I read on Kindle. Well, not in actual Kindle, on my phone, on the app. But I'm guessing it's almost the same. And it was really fun to highlight the quotes and jot down my thoughts as I was reading. Although, after half of it, I don't think I stopped that much to actually write my thoughts. But yes, it was really easy and it was so much fun. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. From the beginning, this book was something that would make you think like, oh, I'm gonna get to meet President Snow a little better and perhaps feel sympathy for him. If you thought that, you're wrong. I didn't. I honestly did not feel any sympathy for this guy throughout the book. Even in the first lines, he was saying that Lucy was a thing. And that was just too much. You could see the trend from there. There were some quotes also that just make you think of the Hunger Games. And for example, there was just this one. It's just the kind of story that catches fire. I mean, if you didn't want us to think about catching fire, they shouldn't put a quote like that. But I'm sure it was intentional. On chapter 12 and the beginning of it, after Lucy Gray's song and how Snow thought that she was a thing and owned her and realized she had a life before him, and he didn't like that. My God, that was some crazy stuff right there. What else did we have there? Oh, there was this great thing. Trying to decide what to call Lucy, like if it's sweetheart, girlfriend, friend, or whatever she was. And I was like, you shouldn't call her anything, like nothing. But apparently he was already in love. So, okay. There was this mantra, let's say mantra, snow lands on top, right? And I thought, so this is the story of how this person and why he became as he is to justify him. This is why I couldn't relate and I couldn't agree throughout the book with the character. Don't get me wrong, I really enjoyed the book, and in a way of those that you scream at the book and throw it across the room kind of way. But spoiler alert here, it was all about how he realized and how he became who he is in the Hunger Games. And I mean, all the songs and everything that happened in the Hunger Games, it must have been like in your face to Snow. It really was a good book. I'm not saying that it wasn't just because I didn't sympathize with it, or I thought they were completely different people, and from the start I knew that it was doomed. And I hope that in the movie that is releasing this year is all there. From the trailer that I saw, it looks like it's gonna be good, and I really hope it is. Would I recommend this book, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes? Yes, I do, but only if you read The Hunger Games and would like to go back to District 12 and 1 and all of it. If you want to immerse yourself again in Panem, then go for it. It's really the type of book that you would expect about President Snow. However, we would have preferred something like Hamish That would be more interesting. Or Max. I mean, those are stories that we saw in the Hunger Games, and we really wanted a prequel of that. That would have been better than what we wanted to see. That's it for this one. I hope you like it and you will follow, like, and share. And if you would like to read the original book review for the Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, you can do it at itchpage.org. It's all there. Thank you, and see you on the next one.